So the reason I joined Nourish is because I got invited to a party, but even more than the party, the message that they were telling me, especially the president of Nourish at the time, it was really important, and I thought it was something I could make a difference in the world.
I joined Nourish because I went on an international project to Cameroon and I loved it. And I loved the people I went with, and they really seemed to have the same values as I did. And they couldn't stop talking about how excited they were for other projects to come and how awesome their student group was. And they really recruited me, and so I, of course, had to join. And I knew that I wanted to go on more international projects, and so I fell in love with Nourish.
So I joined Nourish because I signed up for a lot of clubs at the Involvement Fair, and I went to like 10 different student meetings at the beginning of the year. And Nourish was the only one that I felt like people were the most friendly at and the most welcoming, so I came back and I fell in love with it, and that's why I'm in Nourish.
I first heard about Nourish at an event here at Ohio State called the Involvement Fair, and they told us about a party that they were having, a social, so I went, and it was a lot of fun with a lot of really cool people, like our current president, Maxie, and a few of my roommates joined, and we've been in it to this day.
I came to the first meeting to get away from my roommate, and then while I was at the meeting, they invited me to the social, and I went to the social and met people like Jorge.
And I went to the first social and met people like Anna, and I just really feel like we found our niche as freshmen.
So I was volunteering with another organization, and there was this girl who I had never met, and she was standing next to me, and we were doing our work, and she wouldn't stop talking about Nourish. She just kept going on, and I had never heard of Nourish International before. I was like, what the heck? But, it sounded so cool, so I went home that night, and I looked it up, and I was at the next meeting that week.
Nourish International because Akram Jabir actually told me about the group and it sounded really interesting and like a great message.
So I first joined Nourish International because me and one of my roommates were just always like signing up for organizations, but we never actually joined anything. So we went to our student involvement fair, and Nourish International piqued our interest. So we ended up signing up, and then from there we got invited to a social. And at the social, we got a chance to meet the president and a lot of the exec board members, and they convinced us to come to the meeting. And once we got to the meeting, everyone remembered who we were, and because of that, it left like a lasting impact on me. So I was like, okay, these people actually care about me and my roommate, and they want us to join the organization, and we've been a part of Nourish International since.
I went to my first meeting with Nourish, and well, this is cool. I think I'll come back. And so I came to my second Nourish meeting, and every person in that room remembered my name and said hi to me. And that was it for me. I was like, I'm going to keep coming back. These people are awesome. Now, 2.5 years later, these people are my best friends, and it's pretty awesome.
Relationships I've developed with everyone in the group, we've become very close. We hang out in Nourish, outside of Nourish every day. I'll see at least one member and say what's up on campus, and it's just cool.
Coming back to Nourish, mainly just because of the people. It's something I look forward to doing every single week, and I just look forward to seeing everyone. And these are some great friendships that we've built on a common cause that we can all work for something together. And I think those are the best kinds of friendships.
I think you're definitely right. Yeah, like the people are really amazing. Like they're all friendly, they're welcoming first off, and also like they all work together for a great mission. So I think it's very neat.
Absolutely.
That's one of the biggest reasons I've kept coming back to Nourish.
I kept coming back to Nourish International because they really made me feel welcome there. They really appreciated any time I volunteered for any venture, and it was just a friendly environment I didn't find in any other student org.
How do I spread the message of Nourish International? Well, it's pretty much all I talk about. Every other sentence that comes out of my mouth is Nourish related. So, if you're around me, you pretty much have to know what Nourish is.
I spread the message of Nourish International to fellow students by just talking about Nourish in class and other events I go to. My major is EADS, which is Environment, Economics, Development, and Sustainability. So we do talk a lot about poverty and ways to fix poverty in sustainable ways. So I just bring up Nourish anytime I can, and it really is a good outlet.
It's it's nice just to mention in passing, honestly, to maybe like lower classmen, if you're looking for a way to meet new people on campus, or if you're just looking for a way to give back. People are usually drawn in by that.
How do I spread the message about Nourish International? Anyone that knows me knows that I just love talking about Nourish. Like all my best memories are from Nourish. All my closest friends are people that I've met in Nourish, and it's just something that like it always comes up in conversation. Uh, Anything that I've experienced or anything that I do, it's always like something related to Nourish, and I just love talking about it. And that's like the easiest way about spreading the message.
I know sustainable development is a huge buzzword, and the topic comes up, pretty frequently. And when it does, I just would subtly work Nourish in there somehow, and I think it's effective.
In terms of spreading the message, I feel like if it's something that you actually believe in, it's easy to just talk about. It's like
Definitely.
second nature, you know. It's like it's just any other topic that you really admire or you support. So, especially when they have like big events going on, I feel like it's easy to like convey the message to other people on what Nourish is, what's going on, and it gets the people just to like get, increase our brand name and like our name in general.
And like you said, when it's something you believe in, when it's something genuine, your message, I feel like it's a lot more easy for our fellow students to understand, and they're a lot more receptive to it.
For sure.
I'd say.
I think it's really hard to condense what Nourish is into a couple of sentences. So what I usually do is tell students about my personal experiences and how this student organization has helped me through college.
In my opinion, the most effective way to recruit new members is to just always be talking about Nourish. Whenever you can, with people who don't know what Nourish is, just bring it up casually in conversation and talk about it. Because Nourish is awesome, and most people are going to be interested in what you have to say.
The best way to recruit new members is to invite them to socials because then Nourish International becomes more than just a one time meeting every Sunday and just this group of kids that you sit with 1 hour every Sunday. It becomes more of an organization and more of a group where teamwork is needed.
Any type of social event, people can get, feel laid back and not feel like they're being recruited, but you can spread the message of Nourish to them, and they usually catch on pretty quick.
I believe like the most effective strategies to recruit new members are to make them feel welcomed and like important. Like people always sign up for different organizations and they just come to meetings and that's about that. That's about it. We want people to be part of our organization and we want them to have responsibility. We want them to like develop skills so they can use them. We want to make everyone feel important. And on top of that, like we want our members to like hang out outside of Nourish. Nourish is like a one-time hour-long meeting, and if you're not on the exec team, you're barely gonna see anybody. So we like to have socials, get people involved, and like actually get to know who they really are.
Engaging. It's a lot more easy to get people in the door than I think it is to make them stay.
For sure.
And I think just being welcoming and putting them, I don't want to say putting them to work, but giving them a task, making them feel welcome is huge. It's the only way to bring them back.
I think you're right. So definitely, as you're saying, like it's easy to get people in the door. I think like our focus should be on how to retain the members. I think that has to do a lot with how we use the new members in terms of not really use like utilize. In a sense that how can we give them a role that they will actually so they can participate. They feel like they're welcome and they're doing something to like increase the the like our goals in a positive manner. I think that's one of the biggest things. So yeah, and also just like spreading the message just when we have recruitment events just to get as many people as we can so more and more people actually
Definitely.
come up to
Getting
our
the word
meetings.
out is very important.
I
Just
mean,
a
I think
wider audience, the bigger net you cast,
right.
the more fish you'll catch.
And I think one of the biggest things is like us having um, our meetings on the same day every week. Now at the same location helps people who are new just to know we're here. happening every week. So
Yeah.
when they have some free time, they can join us.
Accessibility is very important, both not only the location but members. Executive.
I think our chapter has been so successful in recruiting new members because once you join, you can tell that everyone is passionate about what they're doing and everyone truly cares about each other in this group.
Honestly, what made me keep coming back to Nourish instead of going to other student organizations that do similar things is the people. You know, the people in Nourish are incredible. They were welcoming, they were friendly, they remembered my name, and that's the kind of environment I want to be in. I don't want to be somewhere where I'm just another face in the crowd and they don't really need me. In Nourish, I'm involved. I can do things. I was doing things right from the very beginning. Um, you know, it's the environment, it's the people in the organization that make you want to keep coming back.
What separates Nourish from other organizations is that we are a smaller organization compared to some of the bigger ones like UNICEF here on campus, but because we're smaller, it gives everyone in Nourish an opportunity to take on responsibilities and play a huge role in the organization.
We're not just, the thing that makes Nourish unique is that we're not just writing a check and sending it away to nowhere. We take these funds and go to a community that knows exactly what they need, and we just give them the opportunity to actually make or build whatever they need in their communities.
So what makes Nourish so unique is that when I first joined on, I found out that this is a student-led movement, and students basically dictated how the organization went. When I first joined, there's only about 28 chapters, and now there's 65, and they're expanding to high schools. So it's crazy how much of an impact college students can make. And the cool thing is that, like, compared to other organizations, Nourish actually raises all their money through sustainable ventures, and all that money that they raise, they have the opportunity to go see all that money go into work at their project site, which is incredible.
Some organizations, what makes us unique? I think instead of just like giving people aid or money, we're actually also sending people to support our mission. So first off, we pick an NGO that we want to work with. We're picking an organization that we want to work with, and we're like helping a community that want to be helped, and they're reaching out for us too. So I think this like understanding, like this mutual understanding, goes a long way. And also, just instead of just sending money out there, we're also sending our members as well as our OSU students as interns and to go and volunteer abroad. So I think just like believing in the mission and also just supporting the mission financially and with people, manpower, I think is one of the most important things.
Working hands-on with the specific needs of the people that we're helping is, I think, the biggest point of difference. And that's something that I try to emphasize when recruiting new members.
I think Nourish International is vastly different than other service organizations on campus because we don't just send volunteers into different countries to teach them how to be successful. We actually go to work with locals to see what method works best for them. We send volunteers not to teach, but to learn.
We are in college. We're busy. We have jobs, we have internships, we have class and homework, we have our friends, and we're in other student organizations, and we're doing a million things every single day. So, to come to all the Nourish events and meetings, you have to make Nourish really a priority in your life. And how do you get people to keep coming? And that's really hard. I think the first thing you have to do is pick a time that's really easy for people to come to. So maybe send out a doodle poll or something and let people tell you when they're available. And then you can set your meeting times for when people can actually be there instead of on Tuesday nights when every other student organization on your campus is having their meetings. Yeah, and other than that, make the meetings fun. Nourish shouldn't be a chore. People will come to meetings they know they're going to have fun when they're there. They know they're going to see their friends. They know, they're going to do work, but it's not going to be anything that they don't want to do. I think that's really important.
The most common reason Nourish events are harder to attend is usually because of the times that they fall. We as an organization have tested the waters on which times work best for which different ventures and events, but it's still a learning process, and some of the times are not good for anyone with their class schedule or work schedule.
Got jobs, everyone's got schoolwork, everyone's got responsibilities, so it's hard to line everything up onto one schedule. So I think that's the
Why are nurse events hard to attend to? Uh, for us, our meetings aren't Sundays, so a lot of people have priorities. Students tend to tend to have other organizations they have to go to. They always have homework or work, and if you can't make it to our meetings on Sundays, we try to have events throughout the week where you can at least be a part of. We started doing meeting minutes, so it's easier to follow up with what you may have missed at the meeting. I think the one way we can fix this is that last year we would have our meetings on Thursdays, and we took a general poll of to see when the most of our general body could meet, and we found out that even though Sunday is a very uncomfortable time, it'll still like the majority of members could still come because comparatively a lot of other organizations would not have their meetings then.
Just scheduling, when other people have to work. Sunday nights, anyone in the restaurant industry may have a difficult time making it, or a lot of people reserve Sundays for doing homework. So I think those are the two main reasons that prevent people from coming regularly.
I think so. Yeah, like scheduling is one of the biggest things. As we're students at Ohio State, it's we have so many tasks on our hand. People have jobs, people have homework, and like all types of things. Like they might be involved in other clubs and organizations, and some Greek life as well. So like, there's so many things on our plate that it's kind of hard to prioritize. But that's one of the things that is the way to be fixed is prioritization. It's like how much you believe in Nourish and how much you want to put into Nourish is how much that you're gonna get out of it. So I think like just like knowing yourself how much you want to be involved helps you prioritize Nourish with the rest of your life.
Nourish is an organization in which members have to put in a lot of time and dedication, and that might scare some people away. But I think that once members understand why we're doing this and why we're putting in so much time, then certain ventures such as shot cleanups become more gratifying.